Circumstances are put in place by a divine order. I am a geek when it comes to modern physics and understanding science, because as an astrologer, it's all based on astronomy. Astrology is a science. It's not
Mm.
like the gene keys was channeled, the human design was channeled, all these systems came through modern days. But the ancient resource that has been put in place 3,000 years ago with an airtight system that never changes. Talked about Taurus rising. We know today exactly where the sun is, what degree, and exactly where the moon is, what degree. It never ever deviates. There's no, even when Mercury goes retrograde, we know when it will go retrograde. We know how far it will go retrograde. It's an airtight, you guys, you can trust the stars. The free will button is your own mind's ability to make the proper choice that's going to serve your higher self. That's what inspired evolution means. I'm going to choose to do the next right thing. But you don't have to.
It's interesting because I've contemplated free will quite a bit for a minute, and one of the things that's popped through for me is similar to what you're saying, and I'm just sort of double clicking on it, is I may not really have the choice of what I'm here to do or what I show up for, but what I do have the choice is completely around how I show up for said
Ding,
thing.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big slice of the donut to huff down in one go, though. It's a lot to digest. I hope you can appreciate for those that are listening
Slice
in.
of the donut. Just so for anyone watching this, you watch podcasts, you listen to podcasts to be inspired to new thought. So you can inspire, here we go, inspire your evolution to consider a larger picture that won't let your ego take over your life. Because the dilemma with the ego is it really does evade God's oneness. It doesn't want to participate in any other way than to get attention and to be noticed and to be approved of and to be able to be loved and to look cute and to buy the cars. And all the ego is so busy and it has such ambition. Even when you're down, your ego's attacking you. That's what I mean by who pays that guy. I mean, think about it. The mental constructs that live in our operating system the first stop is your ego. And it's not interested in evolution. It's interested in security and safety and maintaining status quo. Mine, 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 mine. Isn't that crazy? And the soul, who is the rising sign, which is what you're asking about, the season of this is what I want to say to you, the people in this room, in this audience. It's the season for your soul to want to evolve, or you wouldn't be listening. There's a free will button coming closer and closer at your house. Are you going to choose to take the high road? And what will it take? Will you be inspired by Amrit? Will you be inspired by Debra? Like, could I give you encouragement to say that the whole planet's depending on you? Because as many people as we can get through this threshold with kindness, mindfulness, love, it's going to make this transition. Think if you were a woman giving birth, who do you want in the room?
The doulas and the midwives.
The wise
What
ones
qualities?
who can sit quietly and trust. The one that knows how to jump up and get what it needs. There's all different personality types that are required in that room, but they're not worrying. They're not having negative internal dialogue. If I had a function for my career this life as an astrologer, it's to help you fall in love with yourself.
Do you ever sit with your own chart and like, do you still learn things from your own chart now, or are you still?
I do. And I find it really funny because there's this thing called the progressed moon. It's just one small, teeny piece of the astrology. And it changes every 2.5 years. And mine just changed. So I'm in this moment where I can feel my chart going, whoop, whoop, and I'm noticing I can't, back to the free will question. I'm like, wow, this is the wildest thing. It's almost like I have no free will. Suddenly mine's in Libra. And I'm obsessed right now with science, which is people don't tell you Libra. You have this in your chart, Mercury and
Mm,
Libra, loving to discover the relationship things have and being
mm.
fascinated. So I'm at the moment, I mean, you probably know the Diary of a CEO. I've
Oh
never
yeah,
listened. I'm in
Stephen
love.
Bartlett, legend.
I mean, the level of, I listened to some scientists yesterday. I caught myself and I was like, Deborah, you are now an hour and a half in. I never did this before. I was
Yeah.
on podcasts, but now I'm obsessed with collecting information and researching and partnering with people and collaborating and I just so to your point, yes, my chart changed. I can't help it. I noticed it and it's operative. When my first progressed moon, I remember this, it moved into Cancer. This was probably like 8 years ago. And I got in the car and I was driving in, I live in Hawaii in the winter, to a
Mm.
furniture store. And I'd never been to a furniture store my whole life. And Cancers love their home. And as I was driving, it had just shifted. It was like similar to now. And I was like, are you driving to a furniture store and your progressed moon just went into Cancer and you're about to buy furniture for the first, like, that's where I'm out of the free will zone. I'm in the car driving to the furniture store. Oh, well. And this is the gift of being in the flow with the cosmic influence that lets me know I'm in evolutionary flow. And thank you, life, for paying
Mm.
such close attention to every single human. That there is a pattern and a rhythm and a design and destiny for everybody listening. What are you
One of the
writing
things,
down?
just I get like 6 thoughts in my head as you're talking, and then I'm like, "Oh, gotta like not gonna forget that one."
Got it. Okay, I love
Um,
that.
one of the pop notes I wrote down was disconcerting, because I think when we go through challenging shifts, um, when there's no context, like I see this a lot as a coach, helping people sort of say, "Hey, I've seen this pattern play out for many other people before," and just providing a little bit of context for people. People can like soften and relax, and like their shoulders come undone, and they're like, okay, cool. This is just part of a process. I'm going somewhere. And so I think even just asking about your own chart, and like you said, I can feel it shifting, but also watching you kind of lean in as opposed to kind of like hold on tight to what was. I would love to highlight that a little bit, because it can be
Wow.
really helpful when you're shifting, right? To have this context, because otherwise you cause yourself a lot, like the gripping can be really
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think 'cause I'm turning 70 in a couple of years, and people are always shocked because I
you
look so
are
young.
what.
Yeah.
Also,
And
also your personality.
but part of it is because of this very reason. I lean in. And I'm going to tell you a secret that I probably haven't said before. I know that I'm totally out of control. I know that I figured out that my mind thought she had an order and organization to my life. I have children, and I married, and my husband died. I had a whole movie going. And then I realized one day when he got so sick, I thought, I am totally out of control. Where I really got it was giving birth. That's when I realized,
Mm,
oh my God, I am so out of control right now. Life is using me. You can use that premise. Life is using you. And the sooner you take your hands off the wheel, but you listen to the directions. So they told me to write a book. I was like, no, I didn't want to write the book. And then I heard it again. Right, you're writing a new book. I was like, no. That was my ego, to your point, not leaning in.
yeah.
Total resistance. I did not want to write a book. And then the message came in so loud and so clear. And I said, here's the conditions. If you make it irresistible and fun, I'll do it. So you hear the message. First things first, you've got to get this, you guys. You lose control. And that you don't lose control. You recognize that life is using you to have an Amrit experience. They created a chart and a story with your wife and the son. They did a lot of effort went into your personal karma. Thank you, life. And then you let go of control because you realize, wow, they know me better than me. They picked those crazy parents. They gave me this crazy. Okay, I'm going to trust them. And that's what astrology has done for me. I totally trust that the sun and the moon and Mercury and Venus and Mars and Saturn, Neptune, they move in perfect increments and they never deviate. Think about that. Therefore, I can trust. This is Taurus rising. I'm talking straight to you. The solid, trustworthy things in life that never ever deviate, like rocks and trees and mountains, that's what the stars are. And so it's given me a gift of trust to know that I'm out of control. It sounds funny. And that I can listen. And when I get the directive from the download, from the intuition, from the meditation, from the walk, when the message comes, the question has to be posed. Here's the free will button coming up. Am I willing to take on the assignment?
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely love this, well, then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.